Bradley in Davidson, how are you?
Doing good, sir. I hope you are. Hey, Matt. Hey, Don. Hey, everybody at the Atheist Experience.
Yay. Welcome. What do you got for us?
Well, I mean, the topic was heaven, and I was wanting to throw my 2 cents into that. But I also had other things because I've seen YouTube video of you talking about being an absolutist morality atheist, and as a theistic relativist, moralist, I find that funny. And also I wanted to try a proof of God out on you.
Wow, that's a lot. We've only got like 12 minutes left, so let's get to it.
Okay. Let's start out with something first that I really want to get out there.
Okay.
The proof that atheists don't have to fear the Trinitarian Christian God.
The proof that atheists don't have the fear of the Trinitarian Christian God.
You don't have to fear them. You don't have to fear going to hell, in other words.
Well, I don't.
We didn't begin with.
We don't have that fear, but okay. Go ahead, I guess.
Okay, under Trinitarianism, Jesus equals the whole God, not just the Son. Since God's indivisible, he equals the Father, the Son, and Holy Ghost in one.
Sure. Yeah, a lot of funny math
variables under Trinitarianism. If it says, I am the way, the truth, and the life, no man cometh unto the Father but by me,
yes,
you could replace that with God is the way, the truth, and the life, no man cometh unto God but by God. So mere faith in God would harken back to Abraham, where he said he believed in God, and it was accounted unto him for righteousness. Therefore, the same faith of Abraham, which is the faith of a mustard seed, would mean that you're saved.
Okay, so let me throw my Christian hat back on for a second. The verse says, "No man cometh to the Father except by me." It doesn't say what the actual mechanism is, whether it's belief or
in that quote.
In that particular quote, it doesn't say that the mechanism is belief. And it doesn't specify what you had to believe, even if belief was the mechanism. It's in Bradley. I wasn't finished. I wasn't finished.
Sorry.
When it says no man cometh to the Father except by me, that could be interpreted and has been interpreted by a number of Christians as being that Jesus or God is the mechanism. This idea of, for example, grace. Salvation by grace through faith, and that doesn't mean that merely people who believe are going to heaven. So you've kind of skipped a portion in your initial proof to begin with. Basically, the portion that defines every denomination except for yours.
I don't have a denomination, but I see what you're saying.
Okay.
Okay. The other thing I wanted to talk about was the proof of God.
Yeah.
And, the word God is extremely loaded between all the various faiths.
Yeah.
It has a lot of different variables into it. And I'd like to change that word and use the word of a greater source, meaning a greater knowledge source. Because I think you could actually perhaps...
So are we talking like space aliens that might know more than us?
I don't want to say space aliens. That's ridiculous. I'm talking,
I don't think it's that ridiculous.
Yeah,
it's the same question that the SETI people ask. Are we alone in the universe?
Well,
it's a more scientific approach to it.
So, first of all, you want to redefine God as greater knowledge source. Why not just redefine God as superperson or coffee cup? I mean, it would be really easy to prove God if we redefine God as coffee cup.
Or if God is synonymous with our ignorance, right?
Yeah.
The things we don't know about.
or if you make God, let's redefine God to be the equivalent of the universe. Well, then it'd be trivial.
You're not redefining a term. You're changing to it a more meaningful term.
Well, I would say
something that we can have meaning with. We can't prove a God's existence unless you are a God by definition.
Well, I would. I don't think that's true. I don't think that that's true.
A lot of folks have tried.
I don't know why you would need to be a God to prove a God's existent, but I also don't agree that you're defining God in a I forget the term that you used.
I think he's rejecting the God term because it's too loaded, and he's substituting something else that we're going to talk about. A different subject.
A more demonstrable phenomenon is what I'm trying to say.
So there might be smart people out there. So we agree with that.
Well, first of all, I don't know that greater knowledge source is sufficiently defined. What do you mean by greater knowledge source?
Because is it that impressive?
Mark is sitting here, and when it comes to physics,
he's
definitely a greater knowledge source than I am.
QED, we're done.
So what is it that you're actually defining? And once you've got it defined and you try to prove it, what have we actually accomplished? If you define a God that doesn't have anything to do with most theological ideas of God, why have we spent any time on it?
Just so that we know we're not alone in the universe.
Well,
it's a good question, a valid question, and yes, there is this SETI thing. Looking out for that. A lot of folks that have thought about it. I don't have an issue with it.
Yeah, and I'm already fine with the idea that there is
might be. There's lots of planets out there.
14 plus or 13.7 billion years of the universe, the vast amount of space. The Drake equation alone is enough to convince me that it's likely that there is other life and perhaps even other intelligent life, but I don't know how you could ever make the claim that they're greater, because it's not impossible that we are in fact the greatest intelligence or greatest knowledge source that currently exists in the universe.
And the dolphins are laughing at us.
Well, my argument goes like this. If you start out with Taoism and it talks about the way and the life, and there's a parable that talks about how if you drop a rock into a pond, it makes the yin and the yang, the up and the down of the wave. And then you come all the way around the world into the Middle East philosophies of Isaiah, which there's probably two Isaiahs, Isaiah 1, Isaiah 2. You have, no man has seen God's face, my ways are not your ways. And then you come into the teachings of Yeshua, which says that the least of these, teaching a relative moral system, to put your mind into the least of these.
So this is going to be rude, but
things seem to tie together into a philosophy that tries to teach nonviolence.
This is going
to teach getting along.
This is going to be rude, but I'm going to interrupt you. You start with the Tao, you go to Isaiah, you go to Jesus. Nobody gives a rat's ass. This is not the way you prove things, by saying somebody said this, somebody said this, somebody said this. These things here, these disparate ideas, I'm going to connect into one philosophical idea, which gets you no closer to proving anything other than that people said things.
Right.
Okay. Next.
Sorry.
I mean, it's almost as bad as the people who want to try and prove their traditional God by appealing to the Bible. I mean, basically, you appeal to the Bible twice and the Tao once, but it gets us nowhere. That's not the way we prove things. So what else you got?
Okay, what about relative philosophy? Relative, you said that, I heard you one time say that A equals A, and you use that as a priori.
Yes.
You agree with that?
Yes.
Why?
So we actually had this discussion before the show.
Really?
About the logical absolutes. There was somebody who was calling in about them, and one of the things I said was I was not going to spend much time on the show today on it. So I directed them to my private YouTube channel. If you go to youtube.com/sansdeity, sans.deity, there is a series of videos there called the Foundational Series. One of them actually covers the logical absolutes. But are you actually watching the stream right now?
Not at this very moment.
Okay,
no.
So you're not going to be able to see my clever little diagram. But the basics from which you will get from watching that short video is that the logical absolutes they define or they describe a single Venn diagram, a circle, and everything outside of a circle. And it is just necessarily true, obviously, clearly, unavoidably, inalterably true, that whatever's in the circle is in the circle, and whatever's not in the circle is not in the circle. That is part of the definition of the circle. And that is the same thing for the logical absolutes, in that a thing is whatever it is. It's a tautology that it is in fact whatever it is, which means that it is necessarily true. But I'd recommend you go watch that quickie video on my YouTube channel and then maybe call back another time, because we only got like 2 minutes left and there's still some people waiting.
Okay, should I just say that if you draw an A on a piece of paper, turn the paper sideways, your A literally becomes the edge of the paper. And if you were to take that A while you're looking at it directly on...
No, it doesn't.
And to speed it up...
No, it doesn't.
A portion
No, it doesn't.
of the speed of light,
No, it doesn't.
then that A stretches and morphs into something other than A.
No, it doesn't. It still is whatever it is. The logical absolutes don't say that if you write something on a piece of paper, it is what it is from every possible vantage at all times. That's not what the logical absolutes say. What they say is, whatever that thing is, that's what it is. You are confusing.
You're saying that your A is relative to a moment, and for that moment, it is an A.
No, I'm saying that an A is an A. The fact that you might view it in a different way and describe it in a different way and see it in a different way has nothing to do with the logical absolutes. And at any given instant, whatever you see that as, that's what it is, and it's not what it isn't. But go watch the video. Thanks for calling.
So you're saying
Yep, that's what I'm saying.